What I like to kind of adjust, we are detail has to be really sharp. It's all of photographers. Detail has to be really sharp. It's all of photographers. Really make a pretty terrible photo. It's a surreal movie. Realism in the moment, real to the space, real to the moment, real to the moment. And you know, so you might see super. Whereas if I was hired to photograph, they're going to be really well lit with softbox. Is going to be a little rim light around them. The office is going to be nice and they're going to be really well lit with softbox. Is going to be a little rim light around them. The office is going to be nice and clean. But in a movie, that office might be like have to be oppressive, right? You might feel dark, and you wouldn't know in the environment. It could be kind of boring. Or if they were planning an evil scheme, you might put shadows that wouldn't really be there, right? Because versus just the individual thing we're photographing. Instead of saying, well, I've got a subject here that I'm going to make a portrait of, I want to light them perfectly evenly, and the background is whatever the background is. Maybe we think about the subject walking into a set, right? They're coming into our set, and the set exists before they come. The set exists after they come, and we're catching this moment. That's one of the things that we like to think about. So it's especially useful when you're shooting on location, right? Thinking about how your lights fit into the world, still making it a little bit better because you don't want it to be a terrible frame, but making it feel like it fits, right? Maybe if you're in an office that has this kind of weird fluorescent greeny light, maybe you don't get rid of all of it, right? Maybe you leave a little bit of it. Maybe you leave a little bit of that shadow, but you fill it in so that we get, you know, a better picture, but not necessarily one that's perfect. So we're not searching for perfection here. We're searching for mood. We're searching for feeling. And for me, I don't search for special effects. We can do that. That can be part of this, but that's not something that I'm going to do today. So yeah, let's do this. So first of all, we're also going to deal with color. We'll talk about things step by step.
Really quick, if you're watching this on playback, you should be okay. It just is going to stream in 4K right now, but we should be all right. We should be stable. Sorry about that, guys. Daniel was just talking about cinematic stuff anyway. No one cares what he has to say.
It's just the beginning where I have to fill in. They pay me by the minute. So, you know, I get what I can. All right, so what we want to do is build our light. And you see me do this anyways because a lot of my personal style is built on this kind of thing. So we want to build our light in pockets, right? We want to create an environment, like I say, for the person to be into, and then we can light them based on the mood that we want. Or in this case, we'll start with lighting the subject and then we'll add the background because that's more interesting for the stream. So, you know, got to play to your audience here. That's why I always light from this side. People are like, why do you always light from the right? Well, because the audience is to the left. All right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Do you want to sit?
Doesn't matter.
All right.
What do you want me to do?
All right. Do we want her to sit? No. She never sits. Somebody sits. Nobody sits.
He just sits.
All right. So Erica's going to stand. She's bold. She's powerful. Right? And we're going to create some light on Erica, right? We're going to create some light that has a little bit of mood, a little bit of depth, imperfect light. And then we're going to kind of go through. Now, I know the tools that I want to use because I've already built them up. But I don't exactly know. We're going to do a little kind of choose your own adventure here, and we'll kind of, you know, get a little audience input, hopefully, of maybe how we can shape this thing. But basically, we have a few things. We have a softbox, and I want to talk about softboxes for a reason. One of the things about lighting for a movie that you might want to consider versus lighting for stills is if I was lighting for stills, where do I put this softbox? Where do I put the softbox? Yeah. Close, right. Usually with lighting in still photography, we generally want to put the light as close as possible. We do that, woohoo! We do that because I was just the Pillsbury Doughboy there. I mean, I already look like that. We put it in close because a few reasons. One is because it gives us more control. Two is because the light will then be physically bigger to the subject, which makes it softer. Generally, soft light is better for portraits. And three, you know, because we can, right? We have we're just making that frame, that single frame. In a movie, if they're moving around, we can't usually light them like this, right? Because what if they move, right? It's going to be in the shot. So what we end up seeing is that we find some bigger sources are being used and further away. We lose a little control, right? With soft sources. We lose a little of that control, but we gain room for the subject to move. So we're going to emulate that just because I feel like that'll be a fun way to kind of operate. You don't have to do that for this style, but you know, I'm feeling frisky today. All right. This is a 4-foot Octa. You got one of these, right? Everybody does. Yeah, so many. Okay. If you live in New York, there's like people on the corner, they sell these when it rains. Yes. Where do those people come from? You know what I'm talking about? Like when it starts raining and all of a sudden people have umbrellas. You don't see them before that, and then all of a sudden they're there. It's crazy. They're selling sunglasses before that, right?
It's called New York hustle life. You always got a backup plan, right? I want to pay for it, you sell it.
It's just really funny because they're always like, oh man, it's raining and I don't have an umbrella. And you're like, oh, that's not going to be a problem. It's going to cost me $5, but it's not going to be a problem. All right, so we're going to start with the big softbox. This is the 4-foot Octa, just to kind of give us an overall vibe. Now, normally, this might be the kind of light that, you know, if I'm thinking like a stills photographer, I'd put it in close, I might use it as my key light. Here, it's probably going to end up being more of an overall fill light, even though I'm setting it up first. I'm going to set it as a base idea of the lighting, and then I'm going to probably bring it down below my base exposure. But we'll start with it just being lighting up the whole scene. All right. Maybe I should do a demo of lighting in a small space. You know, Seth says I'm not fleet of foot, but you can see me moving around in here. Yeah. Oh. Nobody saw that. All right, here we go. All right, so we're going to bring this back, and I'm going to basically, because I know ultimately it's going to be a fill light, I'm not going to tip it down or anything. I'm just going to kind of shoot straight at her with it. This is in the B group. All right, so I am using Profoto lights. We just quickly run through the gear. I always forget, and then people ask me. These are Profoto lights. We got B10x's, we got B30s. This is a Nikon Z6ii with a 24-120 lens. And I got a new tripod. This is a 3-pod tripod. Yeah, pretty nice. We got it to hold up the 4x5 and I decided to keep it. Okay, so, all right, let me just turn everything on here. So what we're gonna do is, we've got multiple lights in our setup here. This is in my B group. So I'm gonna basically get an overall exposure of the room. The first thing we wanna do is we're gonna think a few things, because I wanna get that kind of cinematic feel, even though this is mostly about the lighting. I'm gonna use a slightly wider lens. I feel like when we're shooting shots, generally when we're going in close, in cinema, we often will use a wider lens. And a big part of that is because it creates this feeling that you're there in the scene, right? Because you literally are closer. It's funny because we think about zooming in or whatever with a portrait lens, like a long lens, right? A zoom lens, telephoto as it would be. Excuse me. And you think, well, I'm right in close, right? Because I got the zoom lens. But the thing is, because of the way telephoto lenses work, when you are standing further back and you use a telephoto lens, we actually went through this, I think it was the last demo, it causes a bit of compression, so it feels a little unnatural. The closer you get to somebody, they kind of start to get distorted. You start to actually have a different effect. And it's literally the same thing with the camera. When you get closer to somebody, it feels like you're closer to them. If you use a telephoto lens to zoom in, it doesn't feel like you're closer. You're just literally cropped it. So we're gonna get in, I had it set at 35 right now. This is a full frame camera. And we're gonna kind of frame it about waist up. That seems like a good framing with this kind of a lens. People will be happy that their head's in the shot. And I'm just gonna use TTL to give me an overall exposure. But before I do that, first I wanna just make sure that I'm set so that none of these beautiful lights in the space are affecting our shot. And the way that we do that is, we set our shutter speed at the highest shutter speed within its normal range, which in this case is 200th of a second. ISO, the lowest within the normal range, 100. And then we're gonna set our aperture based on basically how bright of a space we're in. So I can look to the back of my camera, which is a mirrorless camera, and I can just kind of see that if I'm somewhere around f8, all the light in the space is gone. I basically have a black frame. So I'm gonna take a shot with no flash, and we're gonna take a look. I'm in capture 1. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh my God. Oh, I'm sorry.
You will never see this. Seth is not sorry.
Stop.
He's mad.
I hate you so much.
Seth hates the stream.
You're washed up. Stop.
So basically, no, it's right there.
No, it's not.
No, it's not streaming. You will have to trust me online, people.
There we go.
So basically, I even took 2 pictures. I don't know why, but I did. Oh, okay. So, okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna look at this, and I'm gonna basically, I can see that it's a black frame, right? You can see it's a black frame. Everybody's like, oh, yeah, black frame. But the reason why shooting tethered is really nice is I can then grab my exposure slider in here and capture one and bring it over, like trying to basically recover my image. You know, because if you shot that black frame, you might be like, oh no, I want to save this. Don't do that. But you know, if you wanted to, you could pull it back and, like, you know, I don't know, you can get that far with it anyways. But what we want to do is bring it back until we just start to see skin tone around there. And we can see that we're about 2-ish stops underexposed. That's pretty good. So that's basically our base shadow level is 2 stops under wherever we're going to light, because my light's going to match the exposure on my camera, right? So I'm going to let TTL do the work here. So TTL is through the lens metering. I'm going to basically, using this Profoto remote, nothing up my sleeve, and I'm going to take a picture. And this is going to send a tiny little photo assistant out to meter, and then it's going to give me the right exposure, hopefully. Actually, you know what? Before we do this, let's have you move a little closer to me. Yeah, a little closer. Okay, good. Yeah, I'm doing that because I want to have some space behind her. Planning. All right. Okay, so, you know, again, we've got basically overall, it's so cinematic.
So cinematic.
Thanks for coming, guys. So much cinema.
So much cinema. Scorsese is right there.
So you could imagine this, though, as being kind of soft light coming through a window, right? Or maybe she's standing in another room and the light's coming through a window in the other room and bouncing off the floor, right? So it's just bringing that much light into the space, right? And that wouldn't be all the light in the space. That's just kind of where it's there. That's underexposed, right? That's what we're ultimately going to do with this light source. We're going to underexpose the light to make it a fill, but the fill is going to not be like on excess normal fill like we normally would do to get rid of the shadows. It's actually going to create a little bit of mood on its own. So do we want, so let's say, what's in the other room? What's the other room like? Does it have wood floors, baby? It does, right? I hope so, because that's the jelly brought. All right, so. No, so, or we can make it blue because it's nighttime. You can do any number of things. Yeah, let me reset the thing. Thank you, Seth. Okay. Okay. So we can warm this up a little bit. Should we do all the gels at the end? Yeah, let's do them at the end. All right. Because it's a pain to put a gel on this, actually. So what we're going to do is we're going to start now to light Erica up. That's our baseline of our shot on the, you know, I'm going to leave it dark. Actually, what I'm going to do, let me just do it now. We used Capture One to check our exposure. And I think, you know, to me, for the vibe I'm going for, I'm thinking about right here is good, which is, you know, 2 stops less than the power of the light. So if I switch my light to manual, actually, I'll leave it in TTL. I can just leave it in TTL and just go to my light and turn it down 2 stops. And the next time it takes a picture, it will send that little photo assistant out, get the right exposure, and then it will adjust it down 2 stops and be darker, right? That's, in theory, what works. Yeah, like that. There you go. There's an underexposed picture.
You're welcome.
Okay, excuse me. All right, so here we go. Now we're gonna light her up. Now I'm gonna throw some, I wanna use this optical spot that I have here because it can throw a pattern, and I wanna throw some kind of pattern in the background of the wall. I'm gonna have you move a little closer. Yeah, you're gonna stay like right on there. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm gonna pick it up. All right, so we're gonna use an optical spot. So an optical spot is basically gonna allow us to throw a pattern. And, you know, you could just take like a set of Venetian blinds, you know, you buy at the store and just hang them from a stand and shoot a light through it, and it will throw a pattern on the wall. You know, anything you put in front of it will do that. This is gonna allow us to do that in a smaller space with a little bit more control. So this is it right here. This is the Profoto small spot. You know what, I'm gonna light from the side. I know I'm not supposed to. So flash goes inside, allows us to project a pattern. We're gonna throw a pattern behind her. Is that totally blocking that camera, right? That's okay. Seth doesn't care.
The stream is going great, Jim. It's going great. Yeah.
All right, so this is in group A. For some unknown reason. I'm gonna turn that light on. Oop, yeah, I'm gonna put the modeling light on. Yeah, if you don't mind. Okay, so we've got that going. And, oh, it's got framing shutters. All right, this has framing shutters built in, which were closed. Nice. I've not used this before, so we're gonna figure it out. All right, good. I'm gonna have to move it back. That is a very small. Okay, we're not gonna put it there. We're gonna put it over here. Is this gonna block the camera if I do this? We'll figure it out.
I'll just work around you. At this point, I'm just trying to survive the stream day, right?
Well, yeah. All right, so we can see here, I don't know if you can see it that well. There's a circle of light on the wall here. We're gonna use a framing device here. All right.
We take this mounting light off.
Yeah. Okay. I think we're gonna use this. It's like a little crackly.
Raising the crack, I like it.
Yeah, right? We got a little crack. Not that kind of crack. All right, so this is basically a filter holder. If you've never used a Go before.
Oh.
Nobody saw that.
We're usually a lot more on point. I don't know what's going on today. The internet's been destroyed.
All right. We got this.
And
All right.
shoes are tied. It's a weird day. It's a weird day.
All right, so basically we got the right. So we got this crack. We're gonna basically put this in here. Well, I probably should have tried this. Yes. All right.
Just drop this thing.
Okay, drop this in.
You said it.
All right. Where's this?
Stream is fine. Daniel, not so much. Nice.
We're doing good. You put it for me? Where up top? See a spot. All right. Up top of the front?
Yeah.
Okay. So, okay, there we go. No, you're good. Okay. All right. Okay, that is really small. All right, that's okay.
It's literally called a spot small.
Well, I thought, okay. All right, yeah. Closer makes it smaller. Yeah. Okay, so, okay, we got this. This is not gonna work out the way we want it, so we're just gonna, you know, have you ever been on a shoot before and something just doesn't work out?
Lift it up. Lift it up.
Yeah, you're good. All right, so we're just gonna throw this on the wall and see what happens. As we work around here, we might just have to abandon this thing. All right, there we go. So what we get with this, and one of the reasons why this is generally a good way to operate is because we can control how sharp or unsharp it is. So right now it's pretty sharp, and I want to make it unsharp because I just want this to be kind of a hint of something going on here. So I'm going to take this, we're going to go back over here. I'm going to turn off B, which is the fill light, and I'm just going to get a shot of the background light. Which did nothing. Try it again. Okay. 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 We're having issues here for some reason. It's firing at full power. Actually, hold on. Hold on. Seth, I'm gonna shoot it. Maybe this thing just eats a lot of light. Yeah, wow, okay. This eats a lot of light. Boy, so we've learned something. We're learning. We're all learning together, guys. Okay. Yeah, we may abandon. Let's abandon this. All right, lesson to be learned here. Sometimes you want to use a new piece of equipment and it does not work for you. It's probably something we're not doing right, but I have no idea what that could be. So let's get back to this. All right, going back to our first light. I'm going to kill that one for a second. Sitting here in the dark. All right, let's reestablish where we're at. We're going to shoot this first light again. I'm back in TTL. I'm going to come back up. Okay. So we've got our underexposed picture, which again is going to give us that kind of baseline. And now we're going to kind of light her up with some drama. Now, what I kind of like to do with these things is keep my light fairly consistent as far as direction. So we're going to put the light, I mean, I was joking about the audience being on one side, but we're going to keep all our light for the most part coming from one direction. This helps kind of set the tone. And when we start leaving some compositional space around our subject, we'll be able to kind of use where the light falls, you know, in that way. So I'm going to take this Magnum. This is a Magnum reflector, which is a kind of a powerful hard light. And we're going to kind of come in, and we're going to come from basically the same spot. You can go back to your spot. Okay, I'm good. And we're going to kind of get this in here. Okay, thank you, Seth. We're still here. All right, so this is my C light. I'm going to test it just to make sure it's working. Okay, yeah, so yeah. This is in a Magnum reflector. So a Magnum reflector is a very focused light, which we could throw, again, from a long distance if we wanted to. We don't need to because we're pretty close in here, but what I'm going to do is use this to rake across our curtain and actually give her face more shape the way we want to. Now you can see some of it's hitting the wall back there, which is going to help us create a bit of a fall off going in that direction. So let's just see kind of what this does. Again, we're in TTL. This is just the Magnum with the grid. Okay, so we can see that we've got this kind of very dramatic light now, right? And it's also a bit overexposed. So if we come in here, again, grabbing my exposure slider, we can take that guy down a little over a stop. So I'm going to come back over here to TTL. We got the B light. I'm going to bring it back up. And that's down 2 stops. My C light, which is the basically our main light right now, is going to be 1 1/3 stops down. So again, this is all in ratio to the exposure that the TTL thinks we're getting. So we're going to kind of see how this works out. Okay, cool. Yeah, and you see how we're layering it? It still looks like it's a bit dark, right? But we don't have that kind of flatness that we have here. You see, we now have a bit of mood going on. Right, you see that, right? Okay, so now, and again, we've got that light fall off on the background. If you don't like that, you can change your angles. There's lots of things we can do. But clearly there's light coming into our scene, and we don't necessarily want to avoid that. You know, as a photographer, a lot of times we're like, how do we get rid of that shadow? Because we're creating this unreal situation of a portrait. We're creating it to open it up. Oh, that's not, okay. All right, I'm gonna get a gel on this guy, and let's see if we can get a little color contrast as we go through this. So I've got my gel pack, and I brought the, to be honest, they're all mixed up, but this is what I'm carried in. This is the Digital After Dark, and we're gonna basically use a warm gel as our kind of bouncing off the floor idea that we have talked about in the big box. Crazy, right? I don't want it to be like yellow, right? We just wanted to have a little bit of warmth going on. So you can see one good thing that you can try, assuming that you're in the same kind of light that you're working with, if you just look through the gel, and you got to do it fast like that, because otherwise your eye will immediately adjust to it. You can just kind of go and get a feel. Plus it's fun. You know what it looks like. And I can see that just warms her skin up, and she can see it too. So it's good in both ways. All right. Like clips or something like that. I'll play with that after.
I think you had a blade. I think the blades were still on.
No, that's not any brighter than it was. None of the blades. Can I have a clip? Tape. Thanks. All right. Okay, so we're just going to kind of, they do actually make gel holders, but you know, yeah, we don't work like that around here. Right. You know, back in the day, it would be a bad idea to like just slap a gel on like this because the modeling lights got so hot. But with LED modeling lights and such, it's not really going to be an issue, but you still want to leave a little bit of space. Like don't paste your gel down to the front of the light. You can't see it obviously because I was inside the box, but you want to kind of just let it kind of hang off. It'll be fine. Okay, so this is on here. It is going to eat a little bit of light, but again, I'm in TTL, so it'll adjust for it. Okay. Yeah, you're good.
That's okay. I'm still cute. Is that what you said?
Yes. She looks a little possessed, but she's still cute. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Just a little bit of warm. Okay. Come a little closer. There you go. A little closer. All right. And I'm going to come up here. We're basically going to adjust down the top light a little bit more. There we go. All right. So now we just have this subtle warmth coming across this whole thing. And we've got a bit of almost like a somberness, right? It's nighttime. The light's kind of bouncing in from, maybe it's kind of ripping through, the moon is coming through the window on the other side of the room, so it's still hitting her a little bit. But yet on the ground, there's like a little bit of warmth bouncing up from those wood floors, you know. And none of that like that cheap wood stuff. This is good wood floor, so we don't mess around.
This is good.
But I think we want to give her a little bit of something to separate the space out. And if she's in a building, then typically we think of interiors to be warm, right? Partially because if you think of an older, like yellow, right? So if we want to add like a little bit of something of color, it can be really nice to do that. We could also really push the edge of it and go really blue with it in contrast to the warmth we have on her. So we can go monotone in a sense, like kind of overall warm, or we can go contrast. So let me see which gel I have, and then I'll pretend like that was a decision I was going to make. All right. If I have another warm gel. I think I do. I do. All right. So I've got this warm gel here. This one is, I think, I want to say it's probably a quarter CTO. Yeah. Maybe a half. Okay. So this is color temperature orange, which is what you would use to adjust the light to reach tungsten. So we're going to use that. Now this trick here, I mean, I paid a lot of money to go to college to learn this. This is only a half, right? I want more. Oh, I know.
God damn, we got to sell them more gels. Don't do that, guys. It ruins the gel somehow. I don't know.
I once showed somebody that, and they just went out and bought a bunch of eighths. He goes, "How much going to buy eighths?" And just put them together. I'm like, that's a little much. All right. All right. So I just want to give a little, like, we're not going to use any fancy tools. We're just going to take this light by itself in group A, and we're going to put a little gel on it.
Okay, more tape.
With tape, yeah. This is how we roll around here. You buy the most expensive lights you can get, and then just stick gels on with tape. And no, I'm not going to use a snoot. We haven't had a snoot question in a while. Are people not into snoots anymore?
We don't invite them.
There was just a time where everybody would ask that. What if you used a snoot? I don't know if they were like giving snoots away for free or something.
No, I think the mystique of the snoot is people just want to figure out how to not have light go everywhere and go only a place they want it.
Yeah, probably.
You know,
Well, it's fun to say.
get some cinefoil, live your dream. You'll be all right.
All right, so I'm just going to take this guy and in order to get it to kind of fade into the shot, I'm just going to I'm going to turn my modeling light on. And what we're going to do here is I'm just going to bring it up and over and just kind of bounce it into the corner, right? So we're really just using the space to kind of bring this warmth into the shot. All right, we're good. Just don't stand underneath that. No, it's fine. You don't need a sandbag on it, but I'll throw one on though, because I know the sandbag police are going to come. We're going to put a sandbag on this because it is a hard light, and you don't want to drop a hard light on the subject. Soft light, you're fine. Hard light, not a good idea. All right.
There's no.
Yeah. All right. Something like that. Yeah. Okay, that's a good place to start. We got this coming in. I can actually see it because we're using a modeling light. This is in the C group, or the A group rather. I'm just going to turn it off.
Hey, Ab, welcome, buddy.
And I'm going to bring this way down. I'm probably going to have to go to out of TTL now. So even though my intention is eventually to go out of TTL because I'm going to dial this light way down, I'm going to start there just so I can keep all my exposures kind of tight. So right now at -2 for the one up there, -2 for this one, and -1.5 on this one. All right, then Erica's going to look concerned. Or she really looks concerned. There we go. Yeah, and we can see now we've got this bleed. I think it's too much. So what we're going to do is I'm going to switch to manual, and with this particular system, You just hit the button, and now all the lights stay where they were. So I can look, and it was at 5.9. If I want to bring it down, let's say one stop, I'll bring it down to 4.9. Okay, and we're going to try another shot. I think I want to work one of the other lights too, but we're going to start there. Okay, yeah, that's good. It's much more subtle. See it? You can see it over the warm on the corner. I'm going to let it spread a little bit further now, though, because now I have it down where I want exposure-wise. I don't think it's covering enough of the background. So I'm going to just kind of go like that. Okay. All right. Now, the second thing I want to do is, at first I didn't mind this kind of moonlight kind of coming through, but it's a little too round for me, a little too perfect, right? So I think I want to make it a little bit more organic in shape, or make it less organic, right? Like make it so like it's hitting something and there's some shape to it. So I think I want to maybe like we could like flag it.
Are you looking at me as if I'm going to get up and give you a flag?
No, I didn't know if we had flags.
What are you trying to flag?
What I want to do is break this light up, since we can't do a pattern. I think what we're going to do is bring this in and kind of break part of it off. So,
On the Magnum.
Yeah, like that. Well, let's just try it first. All right. So what we're going to do here is because I have modeling lights, right? So I can see where the light is. I want to keep the light on Erica, but I want to flag some of it off the background. I still want some of it back there. Right? There we go. All right. And we can see it's still on her, right? And you see now we just have that little bit of... Now, if we don't love the bottom of it, we could also flag the bottom. It's going to be trickier, though. I think instead what I'm going to do is spin the light slightly. I like what I did there. You see you see the change that happened there? We basically cut the light to make it a little more like a spot, like not a spotlight, but kind of just a piece of light, a chunk, a little pill. Yeah. So when that album came out, like a little pill, you got the actual CD, right? And you played past the last song. It played for like 8 minutes of silence. And then there was another song. Mm-hmm.
That was worth the stream right there, guys.
Yeah. So if you had that somewhere, yeah. And the reason why that's relevant is because I think I got a little too much. I think as creators, what we want to do is we want to think about the medium we're working in and try to use it in ways that are different, right? Like using the CD. If it was an album, like a LP, they would have seen that there was a big empty space there, right? You could see it. You'd be like, oh, they're not fooling me at all. But with the CD, it wasn't there. You had to have patience. Only somebody who actually took the time would see it. So kind of manipulating the tools that we use to basically bring something out where, those who are really looking might get something. It's nice. Thank you for cutting that for me. That's beautiful.
You owe me a foam core for
I
the
do.
millionth time.
It's also kind of Charlie Brown's shirt. No, hold on. Is it this way? How's Charlie? I don't know. I haven't seen Charlie Brown. Like I said. All right, so now we're playing around a little bit with space. Oh, you want to bounce color into her?
It's up to you.
Well, I mean, I don't. What do you think?
Color.
Oh, of course. Did he pay you? So we could bounce a little bit back into her as well, because we're not using any kind of fill. In the conventional sense anyways, right? We're letting that shadow fall heavy on that one side of the face to kind of create a bit of kind of, a kind of feeling, right? And of course, obviously Erica's playing into it. That's very important. If she was standing there like gawking at the camera like this, it might look scary.
Good luck with that.
All right, well, we got green. So we won't put, can we actually grip this?
You want to grip?
I think it'll be hard, but I think we could do it. Now,
Do some fill.
yeah, once you do something once you take about 3 shots, if you're going to keep something in there, you probably want to grip it. That's usually the rule. Test stuff before you don't spend an hour getting a C-stand out if it's going to be terrible. But once you know it's working, get it on a stand so it's consistent, but also so that it's he's not going to put it over your head yet. You can go this way.
What do you want to play? The bottom?
It was like up here. I think it might need a tall stand. I had it like this. Yeah, you know me. I'll make it easy. You could also cut it. No, there's not enough space to cut it past her. Yeah, I think you need a big stand. I think you have to come over like this. Maybe not though. Where are you all from? That's what you do in filler, right? You're in like a chat room. On the chat, is there anybody from Brooklyn flag? Okay. Oh, multiple CDs with that trick. Oh, interesting. Oh, okay. I don't know what that means. Okay, so yeah. Eric is here. She, just
Here.
would you?
It's close. It's just, yeah.
Yeah.
What did you want to do? What did
It's coming down.
I think you need a taller stand, actually.
It's coming down?
Yes.
Yes, it's coming like this way.
Yeah.
Then if you swoop it.
Seth is testing the extent of the 20-inch C stand right now. This is when you're like you're testing the extent of the 20-inch C stand.
You've been testing the extent of this skull for like 20 years.
This 1, 2, 3. There's 5 regular C stands over there, but he's not gonna.
Close
I
enough?
was looking at
Well, it was above.
it. It was above, but
was
it's
like
pretty
that.
close.
All right, it's fine. It's fine. If every shot for the rest of the demo was terrible, yeah. He got so close and he gave up.
Yeah.
This is the story of kids these days, right?
That's how I ended up here.
All right. So,
Big masterpiece, go get it.
I mean, it looks cool. All right. It definitely looks good. We'll charge for it. All right. So come forward.
Sure thing.
All right. So anything that you bounce light off will become a source, right? So if we bounce light off this green construction paper that Seth was supposed to make my birthday card with, and I never got it because you can see this, or this pink, we'll actually get some color bounce back. So if we use it as a fill, so right here we have a hard light coming in, right? If I bring the green in, it's probably gonna be in the shot, but that's okay, just so you guys can see it. I'm gonna do it a lot so you guys can see it. You can see how it can bounce some green into it. I don't know the green's really the color, so I'm not gonna probably work this that hard, but you could definitely, work a color. So it's another way to work with this. You get big piece of color board, can help you bring color back into the shot without having to have like a gel or a light doing it.
You could also, if you don't have a light but you have gels, put the gel on the board.
Yes, exactly. Okay, cool. I think this isn't too close for us to make that work, but okay, back to our original position. We got it. This is good.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so. Well, this is where it needs to be. All right, that's it. Okay. All right, so we're back where we were. We've got this kind of organic vibe going on with the cut up light. I feel like we could bring the Magnum down a smidge. Now, one thing I like to play with too is, what is like the right exposure when we're doing this kind of stuff? And when you're dealing with this kind of thing, you could use kind of high contrast light, which is what we're using. But again, unless light's directly hitting somebody in a building or something, it's usually not this high contrast. Usually if you're in a room, the light is fairly even unless you're standing under the source. So we could play that she's being hit by the moonlight if that's the vibe we want to get. But if we want her deeper in the house, it makes more sense for the light on her to be a little bit dimmer. So I'm going to come over to this light, which is my Magnum, and I'm just going to bring the exposure down a smidge. Because people often ask about what's like the right exposure, and you have to really think about, hold on, I don't remember which light's which. Oh, it's the only one's on. Okay, so that's this. Let me just make sure it's the right light. Okay. We have to think about, how do we want it to feel? So this might be correct for her skin tone, but I think it's a little bright for our vibe. So I'm going to come down here, and I'm just going to lower the power by 4/10 of a stop. And you could do this a lot of different ways. So I just did that, and sometimes when I do it, I often think people are sitting there going, well, why did he lower it 4/10 of a stop? And I could tell you why, but it would take a long time to explain it. No, part of it's experience, but because we're tethered, we can actually just look at this. Now, when I bring the exposure down, we're only going to look at the highlight because that's the only light we're going to change, right? You'll see everything else changing it darker, and that won't change in the final image. So it does take a little bit of getting used to. So we're actually just looking at our highlight here, and we're going to grab our exposure slider, and I think somewhere around there might be good. So that's basically another stop down. So I'm going to take just this light. So see, I only moved it down 4/10, wasn't enough. And I'm going to go down there. I'm gonna bring this in. Yeah, now we're getting kind of a darker, but you see, it's not like she's underexposed, right? Her exposure feels correct for the scene, for what's going on, for the mood, right? Does that make sense? And we could play around with this, right? We could, I just threw that warm on the wall because I thought it'd be interesting, but what if some of that light was scattered and hitting her on the shoulder, right? You could do that too. So using kind of a conventional, I don't know why I'm talking to them, I'm like Jim Morrison talking this way. Don't worry, I won't do any other weird Jim Morrison thing. What if instead of the light just being hitting the wall, we use more of a conventional photography thing, like a separation light or a hair light? We could do that, right? I still would leave it loose like this because I think that, turn the modeling light on. I think that we want it to feel like kind of, again, like organic. Oh, I pressed the wrong button. There it is, okay. But we can just kind of spin it. See if we can get a little bit to play off of her. Now, again, more of it's gonna hit the wall when we do this. So everything is a compromise. Or you can use a fourth light, but you know, you start bringing 4 lights in, now you're really asking for trouble. All right, there's way more of this on the wall now. I'm actually gonna turn it down a tiny bit, just because we spun it closer to her. I'm gonna bring this back in. Yeah, there we go. See how it seems to kind of be working its way across the wall a little more? It's not traditionally like separating her, but because it's coming behind her, now we're getting a little bit of vibe of, we get this like warmth, almost like kind of lighting her up. And it's got this like real kind of warm monotone, but yet when you come to the other side of the screen, we have that little bit of neutral on that side, which kind of just lets us know it's warm. Because whenever you're doing something very monotone, if you just threw a gel on the whole thing, everything would be warm and it might just either look really wrong or you might not notice it at all. So by like having a little bit of neutral, you can see that we're playing with different levels of color. Now frame it hard. Okay. Now I'm gonna get in hard. I wonder if I should do like a, this is, by the way, no, I was gonna make fun of people, but I'm gonna do it anyways. Boom, cinematic. 16 by 9, no. I thought it had the 2.
Was that a stab at me? Was that a stab at me?
No. I thought it was. I thought they had that was at 2.85. They don't have that. All right. We'll just delete that from the stream. Don't worry about it. Daniel didn't do that.
At the stream.
Okay. All right. All you over here in the store are the only ones who will ever see this because the streams. All right, we're gonna get in now. We're gonna get in punchy. Now again, remember what I said at the beginning. I could just zoom in, right, with my zoom and get tighter. But I can also get physically closer, and that will have 2 very different effects. Getting in closer will bring me really, like, it's gonna be more emotional and tighter to her. If I just zoom in, it'll just be a crop. I think getting a little closer is probably the deal. So I'm gonna move in a little bit. I'm gonna come in. He's looking, everything, oh.
Rhino egg.
If only it was on a stand.
Well, you know, you literally took it off.
Yes, you're right, I did. All right. You know, I kind of like it. Daniel's thinking for a second. Talking about myself in the third person. I think I was making fun of it, but I think I might actually go 16 by 9. Because what's more cinematic than that?
It's true.
Yeah. Because again, these are all tools that are at your disposal when you're trying to like move things together. The other thing I'm going to do is not center her. I'm going to actually move her to one side. Because now I'm working a little bit with, various, oh, look, it has a little star on it as well. See that? Can you guys see that? I don't think you can see. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Now we're starting to bring in, like that tighter composition, and we're separating these 2 sides of the frame. God, I'm tempted. I actually kind of like the mono, and we've still got that little bit of neutral. I'm just making sure I keep that neutral. Yeah, I like that. Questions, thoughts, concerns? No, nothing. Listen. Should we go really dramatically different on the color? Should we go like with like a bright color in the background just to see what it does for a difference? Yeah. All right. Eric says yes. So we're going to do it. So let's just do a classic and let's just go opposite and go blue. We could go like a greeny blue. Putting these two together. Yeah, let's see that. All right, we're going to change this up a little bit. Oops. All right, we're just going to swap this gel out. Yeah. Oh yeah, we got more tape over there. Thank you, Erica. All right. And Seth's not giving me any tape anymore. He's mad about the whole positioning.
Positioning thing? What is this now?
He really worked hard to get this.
He did. It was a good effort.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm used to being disposable for your benefit. Go ahead.
I thought it was pretty good.
It was okay. I thought it was good.
I wasn't paying attention to what you were doing.
It was just different. It was fun.
You know, it's different this demo, Dan. You know, I tell you, this one is special.
All right, here we go. So now we're going to kind of a greeny blue. I like that, right? Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah.
Click that sort of okay button for Daniel today. Click that. They can't really see what that light is.
Okay. So up here we have just a straight up Profoto head with no modifier. Then I've taken two gels, a blue one and a green one, and put them together to create kind of a greeny blue.
A turquoise, if you will.
Turquoise, if you will, yeah. Kind of a, we're trying to match, my birthstone. Cool tone green, yeah, exactly. So, we'll name this color later. If anybody has any suggestions for the color, just, put it in the chat. All right, I'm just going to shoot this light, the green light first, just to kind of get an exposure for it. So we're going to go, come a little closer. Yeah, okay. Okay, that might be out of focus because she's completely backlit. Okay, yep. Okay, yeah, I kind of like that. It's very underwater. All right.
Little Mermaid.
All right, good. Nice. I'm just bringing the other lights back in just to get a vibe. Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, it's got something going on. Okay, so
Not sure what it is, but
I turned on the wrong light. That's why, but that was good. I meant for this light to come on. All right, there we go. There we go. That's our main light. Oh, I kind of like this actually. So we can see now that she's got a warm vibe to her, and then the background's got this green to gray. I don't know if we even need this, but we're gonna try it. I'm gonna bring up the key light a tiny bit, because again, this is to taste. Good. Okay, yeah, so we're getting that organic feel again. And do we need that fill light? Let's try it. So this fill is warm, remember. But remember, because it's a softbox, it's gonna go everywhere. So it's also gonna interfere with our green, but that might be good though, because it might actually allow us to tie the whole thing together. Okay. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Okay, okay. I don't know. Before we work this more deeply, do we like monochrome better?
The green doesn't really say anything. That's the thing.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think the green is just she's there against a green wall. It's a nice color tone for her skin, but I don't think it ties in back to the original concept of the story.
Color is such a key storytelling element when there's nothing but an image, that if the green isn't saying where she is, why she is, what she's around, I'm not sure what we're really getting out of it. Indoor pool at night.
you know what I'm saying?
Well, if that was the case, we could bounce the light off of some Mylar and get some reflective thing like a
Yeah, like the green could tell a different story, but does that story match what we're trying to build up now?
Right.
Like swapping that gel, was that to our advantage? Not really, right? I don't think it really added anything. And sometimes that's the way it goes. You get your shot, you're working it, you try other things, and it's like, well, let's try green. Green didn't really work for us. I don't think any other color would really work. What's that? Yeah, this is better. But yeah, let's do it. All right, so we're gonna play around now. This is something you won't be able to do at home. This is the power of the Adorama space. Seth's going to use some ambient light. So these blue ones are okay. Okay, okay. But we're gonna have to kill those though, because I don't think that we're gonna. I think we'll have to kill the neutral. Yeah. So Seth has added in some blue LED lights, and the reason why we have to kill all this is it might look fine, but in the end, I'm gonna have to really slow the exposure down to get any of this. So what I'm gonna do, just let me quickly show you how to get guys do this while we sit in the dark.
While we sit in the dark.
Yeah.
It's blue in here. It's not dark.
Okay, so there she is, right? And you're looking at that going, oh, that's wonderful. But that's not at all what this shot looks like, right? Because the shot looks like this, right? That's not our exposure. That's the camera showing us how to focus. So when we have this exposure, we have to consider how we're gonna make it work. The simplest way to do it is to dial your shutter speed slower until we bring up some of that blue, right? And then everything else is gonna come from our flash. I'm just gonna keep on the key light flash, which is the Magnum. And let's see what we get. Now, again, this is pretty slow, so there might be a little bit of softness. Yeah, this is nice though, right? So now you can see we've got this overall kind of soft blue coming across, as opposed to like this, yeah, the monolight is warm. So the monolight's warm. Plus Erica's skin tone is naturally warm. She's a warm person. Okay, I brought a little more power in. Yeah, and we can see that that kind of just really works together, right? Yeah, and you can kind of see just the various, like the way when you come in close, you can kind of see, right? We even have a little bit of color in the shadow, right? The shadow on the side of her nose is being filled in by the blue in here, right? So we have color shadows. So that's another demo for free. Everybody who stuck around through this, you get the color shadow.
Well, now you can have her slightly move. Cinematic.
You could do that. You could have her move a little bit. I'm shooting at a very slow exposure. So if we just have her kind of like, just kind of slowly move like that, like that's going to be super a lot of move. You'll see she's just barely moving, right? And what we're going to get is it's with that, right? We have that almost like shooting through some kind of like dappled glass vibe, right? Because it's nice and sharp on her. We didn't do like a pop and blur where she like moved from one section to another. We just had her kind of soft in her space, which again creates a different vibe. So it's almost like when I get up in the morning and I have my glasses on. That's kind of what this looks like. I wish it was that sharp. Let me tell you.
It's very musician portrait vibe.
Yeah, and again, we could, if I was really playing with this, I could get it so that the shutter speed was a little faster, just the tiniest little bit, like even less than that, like just. There you go. Yeah, we can see that basically we're just getting this like just this most subtle movement. Yeah.
That's like a film.
Yeah, and there we go, right? So we've got two kind of completely different things, but yet the same, right? We've got this like warmish, we have this green thing, which we're gonna forget we ever did.
It'll never go away.
It'll never go away.
It was horribly live streamed in a stuttering, buffering, low bit rate.
And we've got basically, right, within a matter of really a few minutes, if you take out all my talking, we've got two very different feeling images with the same model, same makeup, same clothing even, same camera, almost same framing, right? What's different here, and 90% of it's about creating a space for the models to be in and then kind of lighting them in that space and letting them come in and out of it. That's basically what we're doing here. We're creating two different spaces, a warm space and kind of just a cool space. And Erica's attitude works in both, right? Make sense? Questions, thoughts, concerns? No concerns. I'm surprised. Usually there's lots of concerns. All right, I'll be back next week where hopefully we'll fix the internet. Right now, Monday, there's going to be a live stream here. Seth's going to give you all the good stuff.
Monday, Jeff Carpenter learned to light deliberately. So intent before we even touch some stuff. You might have seen some of that in here. On Tuesday, we have the photo critique. If you're in New York, you can submit images. I know a lot of people here will be submitting. And Dan's back on the 18th doing best softbox size for portraits, the most clickbaity title he could come up with on the fly. And on the 30th, we have creative gel techniques with Justin Bakari. So actually how to use gels. And that's on the events channel. So make sure you check the events channel out as well as this channel. Hit subscribe if you're new here. Go ahead, Dan, do your closer.
All right. Thank you. Thanks, everybody, for coming out. Thank you, Erica. She's Erica Lynn, NYC. Seth over here at Last X Witness. The X is silent. I'm Daniel Norton. Make sure you subscribe and do all that good stuff. And we'll see you next week, actually.